You're watching Signal of the Republic, where we tear through the spin, call out the lies, and speak for the Americans who've had enough. Tonight, we expose the real cost of illegal immigration. Not just the money spent, but the violence and crime committed against everyday Americans. It's not just about border control. It's about legality and the motives driving it. When the protesters say they don't want ICE coming in, we're here to break it down. The truth might shock you, but it's time we face it head on. So let's dive in.
I want to begin with you. What are you seeing in Chicago?
Katie, there's really a feeling of a city bracing for what is to come, especially in light of that announcement, Operation Midway, from the federal government. We saw, and you showed some of those pictures throughout the weekend, we saw regular protests downtown Chicago, people saying that they don't want to see this increased immigration enforcement, that they don't want to see National Guard troops in downtown Chicago. And I should also add that there is real fear.
Tonight, a warning to those who crossed into this country illegally. You should be afraid. Not because we're heartless, but because you knowingly broke the law. Every agent at the border, every local sheriff, every law enforcement officer is on the lookout.
Katie, I should also add that something that we continue to hear at those rallies, you hear from political leaders, is not that people feel as if everything's okay in the city of Chicago, as if crime can't come down anymore. They just feel as if it's a waste of federal resources to send in National Guard troops who, by law, would be essentially restricted to protecting federal property and federal personnel, and then having the surge that's targeting undocumented immigrants, Katie.
The left is framing using federal resources to combat crime and rounding up illegal aliens as a waste of taxpayers' money. Let's talk about wasting resources. Let's look at the real cost to everyday Americans like you and I.
Cost of the migrant crisis. Elon Musk's new Department of Government Efficiency is saying the U.S. spends more than 2% of its entire budget on illegal immigration. And some big cities at the heart of the crisis are not holding back. Some in Chicago criticizing the city's mayor to his face for spending more than $500 million on sheltering migrants. Meanwhile, a surprising policy shift from New York City's mayor, who now says he's open to deporting some migrants. Correspondent Alex Capriello live for us here in Chicago. So Alex, break this all down for us.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Nicole. Right here behind me is a former hotel that's been renovated to actually house incoming migrant families. We've seen some activity throughout the course of this morning, people walking in and out, but very, very soon, beginning the first of the year, we're going to see some sweeping changes here in Chicago due to budgetary concerns. This is now the big topic, is just how much it costs when it comes to humanitarian aid for migrant families all across America. The Department of Government Efficiency, better known as DOGE, is already working hard to find areas to slash spending on the national scale. And one starting point that they're looking at is the cost of immigration. Take a look at some of these eye-popping numbers to put it all into perspective. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, who head DOGE, got these numbers from various sources, including one right-leaning immigration reform group. They say immigration costs American taxpayers $151 billion in 2023. Compare that to some other notable historical events adjusted for inflation. That's more money than taxpayers spent on the Manhattan Project, the Panama Canal, and the Hoover Dam, and it's about half the entire cost of World War I. So, let's talk about it even further. Some cities under the microscope more than others. Chicago, for example, is working to close a $1 billion budget shortfall. This comes after the city spent more than $500 million on sheltering migrants since August 2022. At a recent city council meeting, some Chicagoans addressed the mayor with both facts and anger. Take a look.
So I got a great way how we can what we can do with this budget. First, let's start with cutting off illegals, getting free everything. Free housing, free schooling, free food. Yeah, let's start with that. That'll save us a lot of money. What, $600 million?
Listen to her. She speaks for millions of Americans. We're tired of watching our cities and our country go deeper into debt while countless illegals get free everything. Think about that. Families struggling to pay their bills. Seniors choosing medicine or groceries. Meanwhile, benefits flow unchecked. Every school district, every hospital, every city budget is squeezed tighter. so those who entered illegally can access free healthcare, free education, free housing. That's your tax dollars at work, and right now it's working against you. It's time to demand enforcement, secure our borders. Stop the giveaways, protect the American taxpayer. Because no American should have to sacrifice while others sail past the front of the line. That's a look at the financial cost, paid for with our tax dollars. But the true price is measured in our safety and the blood of everyday Americans. That's the hard truth. Now, let's hear White House border czar Tom Homan put it in his own words.
Estimates are that there are 11 million undocumented immigrants in this country right now. How can you possibly afford to deport all of those people?
Well, I'll leave it up to Congress. I think Congress, the president has a mandate. This is the number one issue that people voted on. I think Congress has a mandate to give us money we need. What price you put on national security?
More detention centers?
What price you put on? What price you put on all these young ladies have been raped and murdered and burned alive? What price you put on that? What price you put on Laken Riley's life? What price you put on national security? Like I just explained, when you have a surge like this, we don't secure that border. That's when national security threats enter the country. That's when sex trafficking goes up. That's when the fentanyl comes in that kills 250,000 Americans. I don't put a price on that.
That was well said. In this next clip, let's see if we can clear up Katie's confusion.
I'm a little confused about what exactly the justification is for going in and.
Here's your justification, Katie.
If you're in the country illegally, you're on the table. Because it's not okay to violate laws of this country. You got to remember, every time you enter this country illegally, you violated a crime under Title 8, United States Code 1325. It's a crime. So if you're in the country illegally, you got a problem. And that's why I'm hoping those who are in the country illegally, who have not been ordered removed by the federal judge, should leave.
This really opens up the question about whether this is legal and whether there will be legal challenges, or if federal agents can just go in and get it done.
Yeah, I mean, immigration policy is obviously often set by the president. He definitely has the authority. Raids have been being done for years.
Enforcing our immigration laws isn't optional. It's a cornerstone of public safety. When someone crosses the border illegally, they bypass every legal checkpoint and vetting system. ICE's city raids focus on individuals who've skirted those rules, especially those with criminal convictions, so families can sleep soundly. This isn't about politics. It's about upholding the rule of law and protecting every community. That's why ICE has both the authority and the duty to conduct these operations anywhere on American soil.
About crime and needing to help Chicago deal with crime, even if they did not want that help. Then you also had Tom Homan over the weekend talking about how they're going to go after cartels, and now this Operation Blitz is for undocumented immigrants. I'm not quite sure what the goal is here in Chicago.
Well, Katie, we'll let President Trump explain to you what the goal is.
We're bringing back law and order to our country.
You've been watching Signal of the Republic. Raw facts, sharp analysis, unapologetic patriotism. Make sure to subscribe and leave a comment below. This is Signal of the Republic signing off.